Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Brimlow, and today we're going to look at some real-world examples of functions in table form and graph form and how to determine the slope and y-intercept and what they mean. We're also going to look at how to compare them as well. If you have the packet, this is on page 22 and page 23, which has questions to go with the work. And then if you don't have the packet, I've linked it as well as put it in Kami so that you can do this for work as well today. All right, so yesterday we talked about how to figure out slope and y-intercept working with equations. Today we're going to look at tables and we're going to look at graphs. So the 8th grade is planning to order official shirts. The student council is researching shirt printers to find the best price for the shirts. Each company has a setup charge and cost per shirt. Analyze each function and then answer the questions to help find the best deal. Okay. All right, so let's talk about setup charge versus cost per shirt. So anytime we talk about a fixed fee, a setup charge, initial amount, base cost, you're talking about your y-intercept. So setup charge is going to be our y-intercept in each of these examples. And then cost per shirt, when you get a rate like this, you're looking at slope. That's how it's going to change over time. So you pay for a base fee such as shipping or maybe to rent something, and then you pay per hour or whatever the rate is that you're working with. Okay. So I'm going to start you out with one table, one graph, and you're going to finish the other two and answer the questions on the next page. So let's start with impressive prints. So how much is the setup charge? So this is y-intercept. Y-intercept is wherever I see 0 for x and then the number for y. In these tables and on your assessment, that will be given to you. So when we're looking at tables that are vertical, this is your x and this is your y. So I see right here is where x is 0. So that means $100 is the setup charge. So before they even pay for shirts, it's going to cost $100 probably for materials and whatnot to print the shirts. Okay. So how much does each shirt cost? So this is where you have to find the slope. Now, when you're working with a table as a review, you can pick any 2 points you want to use, any 2 sets of coordinates. Typically, I like to stick with smaller numbers, but once again, you can use any 2. So I'm going to use these 2 right here. Okay. So this is adding $57.50, and this is adding 5. So that means the slope is $57.50 over 5. So $57.50 for 5 shirts. So we can simplify that to $11.50 per shirt. Okay. All right, so now we're going to write a function and put this all together. So we know slope-intercept form is y equals blank x and then my y-intercept. So the slope is the cost of the shirts, so $11.50x plus a $100 setup fee. Okay. So once again, this is analyzing the slope and y-intercept from a real-world table as well as writing an equation or function. So now we're going to do this and we're going to look at a graph. So I'm going to skip down here to lots of logos. So setup charge is the y-intercept. So on a graph, that's on the y-axis. This is your x, your horizontal, y is your vertical. So it's at 0.25. That's the y-intercept. So the y value is our setup charge. So $25 for setup. So once again, that's probably for materials and just getting started. How much does each shirt cost? So you pick any 2 points on the graph. You could even pick this one and this one. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to use these 2 here. Now, it's a little harder to use with the lines. But this point right here is 10,155. That's how much we're going up. So we're starting at 25 and going up to 155. So that is adding 130. Okay. So that's the change in my rise. That's how much we're increasing from this point to this point. And then I'm going over by 10. So it's $130 for 10 shirts, which is $13 per shirt. So my slope is $13. Okay, that's how much each shirt costs. So y equals blank x and then y-intercept. So the slope is the rate that you're paying for the shirt. So $13 a shirt plus $25 for the original cost. Okay. So you're going to finish awesome apparel right here and standout shirts. And then you're going to flip over and use all of this information to answer these questions, which we can't really get started on these right now just because you have to finish the other two. But you're going to answer the question, which company charges the least for each shirt and the most, setup charge, lowest and highest. And then you're actually going to do some calculations based on what the student council is looking for. So if they want to order 10 shirts, A and B, where should they order 10 shirts from? And you're going to explain. And then I'll do one problem right here. And then what should be the difference in price between standout shirts and awesome apparel? We didn't do those yet, so we can't do much with that. So where should they buy 10 shirts from? Well, we're not going to know unless we try it for every scenario. So if we go back, you're going to have equations by the time you're done for all representations. So let's go ahead and do impressive imprints. So for them, we had, I'm just going to write impressive imprint II, so I know. So we know that y equals 1150x plus 100. That was the equation. So if they want to buy 10 shirts, that's going to be our x, number of shirts. Y is our total cost. So 1150 times 10 plus 100. This is 115 plus 100. So it would cost $215 to buy shirts from Impressive Imprints for a small batch of 10 shirts. So now we'd have to figure out what the rest is for each of the other stores to compare and figure out which one's going to be the better deal. And then you're going to answer part B. So the shirts came out great and student council received 200 orders. So same thing. Now instead of 10 shirts, they want 200. So the company that did the best here might not be the best deal once you're ordering more shirts from them. So you do this all again, and then they want the difference in price between standout shirts and awesome apparel. Okay. So once again, you're going to finish this table and this company's graph, and then you're going to answer these questions. If you have any questions for me, please reach out. I will chat with